Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shaper Sessions. My name is Jake.
And I'm Russ.
Today, we have a wonderfully exciting show for you.
Are they not all wonderfully exciting?
This one really jazzes me up. We are going back to an old project that has been around the shop, and we're really excited to show you. We're making the bar box.
Yeah.
The travel bar box.
Portable bar box. If you want to peek inside Goose's brain, we've got Goose on the switchboard today. Goose designed this when we released Box Joint Basic for Origin, which is our on-tool extension that allows you to really easily make box joints on the fly with Origin.
Yeah, one of the first big projects that he made for himself when he started here.
We're doing this today because we got a lot of stuff going on. I think we've got a lot of new viewers that we're excited to have, and so we wanted we wanted a project that really shows off a lot of Origin's capabilities that we can kind of just show you what it does with. So not only are we going to cut the box joints for a joint in this case, we're also going to cut the hardware mortises for these hinges inside, these tricky concealed hinges. And these can be really difficult to do any other way. I think kind of standard. They come with a paper template, which is kind of weird. Yeah, you can see these guys right down here. So we're going to cut these with Origin, plate, and the hardware catalog.
Yeah.
Because we've done a lot of work to make these templates for you so that this hardware that's normally really tricky to do is at least a little easier to nail.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we are in the thick of our promo season. It is the holiday promo happening right now until
December 20th.
So
should we look at that really quick?
We should probably take a peek at that.
Okay, let me pull this up. Let's just look at this really quick before we get started. This is our holiday promo, shapertools.com/holiday deal, and Ted's got a link for this in the chat. This is our biggest deal ever, over $800 in savings until December 20th. And if you scroll down here, you'll see this is the first time we're knocking $300 off cash off the complete system. And then on top of that, 9 free project plans, free accessories kit that includes a customizable mini sustainer, roll of 2-inch double-sided tape, shaper pry bar, clearing brushes, and a free shaper beanie, an accessory in its own right. And then also 2 free getting started training classes with Jake and I that are going to cover the whole shaper system. So it's a really cool deal now until December 20th, shapertools.com/holiday deal. Speaking of other crazy deals, just by virtue of being here, you get a chance to win a Gen 1 Shaper Origin. That's also kind of why we're doing this bar box thing.
Exactly. Not any Gen 1 Origin. A Origin signed by our friend Jason over at Bourbon Moth has sent in his tool using our tool trade-in program. And we have cleaned it up, brought it back to beautiful factory condition, and we are going to send it to one of you.
We're going to give it away today. So to win that, stay tuned all the way through the show. We're going to be popping up a giveaway response question. It's a poll question. You answer the poll question to win in the giveaway. And we'll be actually giving that away at the end of the show, along with some other stuff. We usually do like a router bit and a collet, something that we use during the show.
Yeah.
Maybe a swag pack. We'll see. That's kind of TBD.
That's how we're feeling at the end of the show.
Without further ado, I think we should just give like a little bit of an overview on what Origin does, what it is, and then we'll cut some box joints. So like, what are some of your favorite Origin projects and applications?
It's kind of a tie between joinery, so a lot of Morse and tenons, dovetails, box joints, and inlay. Because inlay, this thing kind of blows you out of the water. It's
Let's take this down and show it off. Can we focus this on the side camera?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So with the same tool and the same file, you are cutting both the positive pieces and the negative. If it's just an inlay piece, you're cutting the pocket for the inlay and the positive that fits into it. You can also do marquetry where they all just fit together beautifully like a puzzle piece. And what really allows you to dial this kind of stuff in is we can shave thousandths of an inch off at a time from each piece so that they come together just perfectly. Now, before I started using Origin, I wasn't necessarily a marquetry master by any means, but now it really is one of my favorite things to do.
There we go. I love installing hardware. We're going to be doing that today also. And I had one more thing written down. Let me look at the whiteboard here. Sign making. We've got these crazy signs. I forgot that our filming sign is over by the door so that people know that we're filming right now. But if you look back at previous sessions that we've done, we've got some crazy signs that we've made, including a see-through transparent epoxy sign that lights up from the inside. All the lettering's cut with Origin. We've got some really cool studio sessions on sign making with Origin. Furniture making, joinery, inlay, hardware, etc.
It's a handheld CNC. As long as you can think it, dream it, you can cut it. Whether it's out of a whole sheet of plywood or something really small like the frets of a guitar or inlays in a guitar neck.
Mm-hmm. That's enough spiel, I think. Let's cut some box joints. Let's show how this thing actually works. So we already have a piece of stock set up here on Workstation. Jake went ahead and did a lot of prep work for this show. I mean, we've got a whole side here together already with box joints. Oh, sorry for the confusion there, Goose. A little misdirection. But we have this with box joints already done. We've got these slats that we've already cut. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 corner's worth of joints, ready to go in Workstation here. I think this is kind of ready to rip and cut.
Yeah. I'm going to go through and do one, and then I'm going to show you exactly how we set it up quickly. So without further ado, let's get cutting.
Nice. So this is Origin, our handheld CNC machine. And if you look at the screen here, you can see that Jake is following the dotted line with this crosshairs. That little dot inside there represents the position of the router bit. And as long as we follow this dotted line, Jake's going to stay inside this digital box joint template that we set up on Origin. Again, we're going to show you how to do the setup for this after we just go ahead and cut this one. I want to show you how cutting this works. And as long as he stays on that path, Origin's going to continuously, in real time, auto-correct for him to keep these box joint lines perfectly straight and with perfect spacing. Now, if Jake wanders too far away from that line, Origin's going to automatically retract to save him from cutting into his work. See what had just happened there? So you can always pick back up right where you left off, continue following along that line, and you get these really incredible results with the assistance of CNC, but without the hassle of having to program one of these things. We're going to show you how easy it is to set up these box joints next.
Go. Pop this out. And voila. I'm going to put my B side in there now, and we'll start from scratch. All right, Workstation comes with this nice support bar that doubles as a zeroing height reference. And all I'm doing is I have these vertical alignment pins here, making sure that it's nice and snug against those, nice and snug against the top, and clamp it into place.
Yeah, just like any fixture, you want to make sure that you've got those references locked in.
Boom. All right. Now, I'm going to swap to call it the probing bit, but really what it is, it's our engraving bit backwards in the collet, so it gives us just a solid 1/4-inch shank that we use as a probe.
Because you need to know where the sides of the stock are.
Exactly.
Origin works with this camera that's looking out at these domino markers. It can see the workpiece and it can see Workstation. But to get everything perfectly aligned, we want a real hard physical reference. And so this is creating a coordinate system that Origin can work off of when we place the design that we create for these box joints. What you're looking at on the screen here is the process of creating that scan. It's just moving Origin around and taking a bunch of pictures. The pictures are being taken automatically, but Jake's moving the router by hand. Then those are stitched together all into one image, and you can see our workpiece on the screen now.
Now we're going to go into grid, because now we can see it, but I want to know exactly where the edge of this material is. So I'm using that bit as a physical probe by lowering it down, coming up, and just making contact with the edge of that stock. Probe 1. Probe 2. There's my x-axis. I come over to that edge that's pressed up against the pins for probe 3. That's my y.
Sweet. So now Origin knows where these box joints are going to be in space, aligned with this workpiece, perfectly square, which is good to know.
Okay. Now we're going to hop into the Create tab. And the beautiful thing about this is creating box joints is entirely on tool. No computer needed, along with all of these different options of shapes directly on the tool itself. And I already have this information in there, but we have our stock thickness, 1/2 inch. Width of the stock is 5 3/4. If I wanted to play around with the number of pins, I can. If I want something really chunky, I think the original one was done with 5.
Mm-hmm.
I like more pins the merrier. Let's do 9. Tap the green button to drop that into place. Now it is locked down. What you're seeing now is the A part. That's the part I just cut. When you're ready to cut the mating part, just hit that swap button. Now we're cutting the B.
That's pretty easy.
Super easy.
I love how flexible this is. It's way smoother than setting up a box joint set up on the table saw. It's way more flexible. Kind of no matter what width that you set up, kind of no matter what width stock you end up, all you need to do is pop that width into Origin and it automatically compensates for all that stuff. Way easier than setting up a router jig. And I think it's just the fastest way to get good box joints in your shop.
Totally. And on top of that, you can make bridle joints with it. You can make lap joints with it. Because what is a bridle or a lap than a box joint?
A big
with
box joint.
2 or 3 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back in with my 8mm. Always like to Z-touch, just as good practice. This is telling the tool where 0 is, touching off directly on my material. And we're ready to go.
Yeah, what cut settings are we using for this?
So I'm undersizing my cut by a couple of thousandths of an inch, just because I want to make sure I sneak up on the right tightness of this, the tightness of my joint. We're cutting down to 0.505, so just 5 thousandths over our actual material thickness. That's because we want our teeth to stick out ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to knock those down flush than it is to try to knock the entire panel down.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing that. Running the spindle at speed 5 with an 8mm by 35mm. Not roughing bit, standard cutter.
Mm-hmm.
Not standard, but.
And then we're also on an inside cut for this because we want to cut to the inside of the template. That's something that's really flexible with different types of shapes on Origin. You might want to cut to the inside or outside of the line. We have the right router bit diameter in there. You already Z-touched. And we're just going to stick with the default speeds on this.
Yeah. In fact, they might be a little bumped up right now. Let's bring that back down to default.
Yeah, okay. Just for the folks following along at home.
All right, I'm going to start my cut out here, and let's go.
So if you watch this again, you're going to see that dot, again, following that dotted line. And Jake is doing this in 2 passes with AutoPass. AutoPass is an extension for Origin that allows you to cut shapes to full depth with a roughing and a finishing pass without needing to change any settings. It does a lot of the calculations for you, and it allows you to step down multiple depths really smoothly without having to manually enter a bunch of different depths and offsets. Depths and offsets can be confusing, so we're saving that for your Intro to Origin class when you buy. Right now, we are just cutting this kind of to default settings. What AutoPass does is it allows you to go all the way down to that finished depth in a nice series of ramps. And what Jake's doing now is taking off just that last little bit in the finishing pass. Really smooth, The roughing pass there allowing you to rough away more material more quickly, and the finishing pass allowing you to get the most clean results just by moving just a little bit of material at the end there. You can see he's just zinging off about 1.5 millimeters. If anybody out there at home hasn't tried AutoPass, remember you do have a free trial of that also.
Yeah, a 14-day free trial.
I think so.
Save it for
This project.
This project. All right, I've cut that part B. Before I take it out of Workstation, now is your chance to do your test fit. Just make sure that you're happy with the. Yeah, that's exactly where I want it.
Are you happy with the friction on that?
Yeah, I'm happy with the friction on that. So, but if it were too tight, this is your opportunity to take a couple extra thousandths of an inch off and get it so that it fits perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But that's great. Pop that out. Let's put it together.
Okay, cool. We're going to save these shelves off to the side because putting all this stuff together all at once can be kind of fiddly, but we do have a top and a bottom. We've got left and a right, and we have the back panel here. And this is just maple, not maple, this is a walnut-faced ply. And the nice thing about using those offsets, again, is that you can tune the fit of this ply because you never know what thickness ply you're going to get. It could be 0.472, it could be 0.465.
Exactly.
And you want to be able to sneak up on that so it fits just right.
Beautiful.
Let's do this up here.
Here we go.
Pretty good. Snug fit.
Nice.
How's it feel?
Feels
We
good.
got a little gap down here.
Yeah, I gotta.
Should I get the mallet? Think you can get it?
That back panel just needs to be scooted over a little bit.
I see.
Maybe we should grab the mallet just so I can knock that over.
Yeah? Okay. Mallet time. We always think we can get away without it.
It's worth a shot every time. Really just need to get an extra mallet that lives over here.
That's a really good idea. Okay, mallet recovered. What do you think about this?
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Little persuasion. It's always the back panel that gets you.
Mm-hmm. That looks great.
All right. Side 2. It's a nice grain on the outside. That's going to be the outside facing part.
Beautiful. And we pared down this side before the show. This side's proud. This is on purpose so that we can sand those down after. We're going to do the hardware install for this after we make a couple of announcements. But I think if we were doing this in real life, we would go ahead and assemble and glue up this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then do the hardware. Because we're going to show you actually how to install the hardware on this box kind of after it's already pre-baked. You don't need to go in and tease out separate panels or anything with a plate. It's going to make it possible to use that on a finished box, which I think is an easier way to work on a nice big box.
Yeah, it is.
Get everything nice and square to where everything's going to actually be at the end of the day.
Nice.
But first, we have some announcements.
Let's do a little mid-show break here. Now is the time when that poll question is going to pop up. The question for the day is...
How did you first hear of Shaper Sessions?
Yeah.
I hope that a lot of you heard of this from Jason at Bourbon Moth, because again, we're giving away his origin today. His Gen 1, he used our trade-in program to trade in his Gen 1. We're going to refurbish it. It's going to be spotless. It is still going to be signed, which is pretty cool. And we're going to send that back out to a winner who answers this poll question in this pop-up and we're going to give that away at the very end of the show.
Yeah.
Um,
Quick reminder for anyone that missed it at the beginning, our holiday promo is happening now until December 7th, or December 20th, my bad.
December 20th.
December 20th.
December 7th is Saturday. December 20th. And this is our biggest deal. This says of the year, but this is our biggest deal that we have ever done, I think.
Ever.
So far. We are saving over $800 when you buy the complete Shaper system. And the biggest thing there is $300 cash off the complete system. Plus, we're throwing in 9 free premium project plans that walk you through step by step how to work with Origin to build really interesting furniture and home goods. Accessories kit including a customizable mini sys toolbox, a roll of 2-inch double-sided tape, which is great for fixturing stuff, especially to a workstation shelf and flat on a spoil board, pry bar, clearing brushes, awesome Shaper beanie, 2 free getting started training classes with Jake and I. So if anything is confusing today because we're going over some really cool like whiz-bang applications today, like, oh wow, you can make box joints so easily, but like what the heck is an offset? And we kind of touched on it. We will answer all that stuff definitely in these training classes. We've also already answered all this stuff before in Shaper sessions, so we would really encourage you to go back and watch some previous sessions where we go over like the really nitty-gritty details of how to do some of these projects. I think that's really helpful.
And at this point, there's a ton of them. Chances are, if you have a question, we've done an entire show on it.
The other thing that's new, that's really helpful if you have a question, is a new page on our website, shapertools.com/find us. So we just put this together. We're really proud of it. This just shows the US, but if you're overseas, I believe this should show your country. This finds an Origin near you at a dealer. So we've got our whole nationwide dealer network in here, including Alaska and Hawaii, not pictured. So if you want to get your hands on an Origin to try it out, every single one of these stores has a demo station where you should be able to check out Origin and do an engraving. Somebody will be able to help you get started with it.
Yeah.
Last but not least, if you're interested in buying Origin, but you want to see more, we have a live demo kind of scheduling set up on the website. You can find that. Sign up for a demo if you're really interested.
Cool.
What else is on here? New products?
A couple of new products, or somewhat new, but now available, I should say. We have the
Ultimate Bit Kit's behind you.
Ultimate Bit Kit is back in stock. This is everything we got put into a beautiful package. Where do you want to show this off, Goose?
I think overhead
Rust
cam. Yeah. Is this overhead? Rust cam? Yeah, there we go. Let me move this down. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. This is every single bit that we make, packaged in a custom mini sustainer. You're going to get the toolbox for free, and there kind of is a bundle discount on all these router bits when you buy them all at once. And what a great way to store them. Need I say more? It's got this little insert that kind of tells you everything that's on there. Insert at the top also. Great graphics. Yeah, let's do this. And this locks into all your other mini sustainers. So you've got your Ultimate Bit Kit. Maybe you've got your plate clamps on the go. Maybe you've customized another mini sys from this promo for your workstation accessories, something like that. These all lock together. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's put this back because I need room for the other thing again.
What other thing?
What other thing? This is our new bit washer. Oh boy, we got too much stuff. How's that, Goose? Is that better? Goose was saying to move our stuff and clean up our mess. Can you see this on the front cam? What do you think? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. This is our new bit washer. It comes with the bit washer, cleaning cloth, a brush, little tweezers for your bit so you don't get the specially formulated bit cleaning fluid / resin remover on your hands. And what's special about this, Jake? Why do we need a bit washer?
So we have used ultrasonic technology to basically just knock off all of the dirt and grime and resin off of your bits in addition to the power of the cleaner. So it's kind of incredible that in the span of 5 minutes you can bring a bit that you thought was totally toast back to life.
Yeah, we thought about showing one today
We wanted to.
live. We wanted to show one today live, but it turns out that we've cleaned all our bits in the last couple of months, and we couldn't even find a dirty one to do it with. So this is really great. It works super well. Basically, the ultrasonic tech makes these tiny little bubbles or cavitations that just blasts away that dirt. And then also the specially formulated resin remover helps dissolve that, break it down. So it all works together.
Yeah.
Really great system.
Put all the kit, everything that you could possibly need for bringing all your bits back. Not only just your origin bits, but any bits that you use for your router table.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to do a fantastic job.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, and I wanted to try something new today because we've got kind of holiday time coming up. This is like gift adjacent, right?
Yeah,
this is a gift for like somebody really special. The next show that we're going to do is going to be on cutting boards, customizing cutting boards, adding handles, adding personalization like engraving. But I also wanted to show off some really sweet community projects that people have been sending us over the last week or two that are like really cute gift ideas. And I love that they've been made with Origin and they're all really sweet. So let's just pop over to the laptop. Let me go full screen here and let's check this out. So this is just beautiful. This is from Dennis. Dennis made a few projects from Shaper Hub. One of them is this kind of shaker-inspired stool. And I'm going to pop over to the other end here. This is the Leia Amix plant stand, which we did a session on.
Such a cool project.
And look at this with the contrasting woods. I think that's really sweet.
Nice.
Shaper made. There's kind of a personalization on the stand, part of this plant stand also that you can't quite see in this photo, but it's really cool. Let's go back to this one. This is from Larry. We've got a compass rose inlay. So hard to tell from this photo, but this is 3 feet across.
Oh, wow.
If you're interested in doing something like this, I believe this was made in studio. We have some compass rose kind of inlay, how to design it, shaper sessions that you could go back and watch where we walk you through how to make all these shapes, break them into the different parts for inlays. Love seeing this. And then last but not least, I just thought this was so sweet. This is a photo from Greg. Greg's son made this ring box for his future son-in-law to propose to his daughter.
Oh,
I thought that was
cool.
just like a really nice little family moment. And this is a completely shaper-made ring box.
Nice.
Isn't that sweet? So
Awesome.
please keep sending us your projects. As thanks, we sent out some shaper shirts for these. So good little shaper community moment. Speaking of shaper community moment, Jason Bourbon Moth sent us his shop tour because we show a shop tour every show. It's one of my favorite parts. So I think we should go ahead and roll that.
Let's do it.
What do you think?
All right, check it out. This is my shop. It's not really my real shop because I had to move out of my real shop into my garage because we're tearing apart my real shop. So it's kind of small, but I got everything I need. I got this little planer here. It's nice. It's on wheels. And then I got the router table right here. So, can route some things. Some Festool air compressor. Got this new Powermatic joiner that I haven't used yet. Oh, there's the new shaper. Oh, Still got to figure out a place to put my shaper station. New outfeed tables. Got my drill press over here. And then next to that, I got my little fastener storage. And then my temporary miter saw set up. I want to do like a built-in miter saw stand, but I haven't got there yet. Dust collection system, which is probably way more than we need for this little shop space. Bandsaw, and then we move these barn doors over from my other shop so that we can store all of our clamps, woodpecker stuff, chisels, all that. And there's still a little room for activities. And then, of course, the table saw, outfeed tables. This is Powermatic's new armor glide. So it's black. It's kind of like Teflon on your tools. And then, you can see my other shop out the garage door there. So that's my shop. It's small, but in good time, we'll be back to the big shop, and it'll be pretty.
What you doing there, Jake?
Just knocking down the box joints.
Ah, nice. I love this little shop tour break that we get. We get to kind of catch up on all the things that we need to do in between demos. So we're just knocking down the tails of these box joints because we're about to come in here and install some hardware. We've got the Sugatsuni R43 concealed hinges. These are just like sauce hinges also. Little metal concealed guys. Non-adjustable, which is interesting because that makes it extra difficult to install. But what we're going to do is kind of mark our position there. We're going to line it up with plate. And then by using that kind of measure, mark, align digital template with plate and origin, we're going to be able to install these hinges perfectly in both sides of each box.
All right.
Good timing.
Wonderful timing. Set that there.
So we've got two sides of the box here. Again, let me show you what's going on with the larger bar box over here. If I open this up, we've got a hinge at the top, a hinge at the bottom. What we do want to make sure of, this is clamped down here. Let me loosen this up. What we do want to make sure of, we can put these hinges at kind of any location. We're going to strike a line with our combo square for this. But we do want to make sure that we miss the dados in here, the blind dados here, because you don't want to cut hinges into your shelves in a weird way. So we're going to aim for the inside of that. We'll put one on this side, we'll put one on this side, and we'll do the same thing on this box, this half of the box.
Sweet.
Okay? Do we have our sides kind of ironed out where we want to put these on which one?
Yeah, but it's always good to double check. Measure once, measure twice, cut 3 times.
Measure once, cut twice?
All right, so I have the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
You have the left-hand side.
I have the left-hand side, and we've got these kind of handle features here at the top, so we obviously want these facing each other. This is going to open up this way. That's going to open up that way. So we're going to put them on this side of this.
Vice
or
versa.
do I have this backwards?
If you give that backwards, we're going to be doing this.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to have this side facing us so we know to put the hinges here.
Boom.
Great. We better mark this before I forget again.
Exactly. You got that marking knife?
I do, yeah.
So as long as I keep it consistent across the board.
Across the board?
Across the
The boards?
boards.
Yeah, the boards.
Everything's going to line up beautifully.
Yeah, so we got the same distance set for all four. And the nice thing about this is that you can, just kind of tastefully space your hinges as you go. You don't need to have this crazy preconceived digital design of where all the hinges are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Can I mark this side too?
Of course.
So we don't forget? Okay, nice. Thank you.
Take my plate, line it up with my mark. And given the nature of this box, I want a little extra support because under the weight of origin, we're hanging off the edge of this thing. So I'm going to put some clamps to really bring this whole thing together.
And what we're going to do for this, just like we did for the box joints, we're just going to go ahead and cut 2 hinges because we have all this stuff set up. We've done R43 hinges with plate before, or sauce style hinges with plate before. We're going to go ahead and cut a couple of these, but then before we cut the other 2, we're going to come back and we're going to show you how we find this hardware in Shaper's hardware catalog, how we get those templates synced to the tool, and then how we set those up with plate also.
All right. We are aligned, clamped. Bring our origin into view. There we go. This workspace is already set up for the R43 hinge. I'm going to do a little extra work just to swap the bit here, or swap my spindle. Going back to the standard 1/4 inch by 3/4 inch upcut. And telling the tool that we now have a 1/4 inch bit in there. Very important, we want to touch off on our material through the plate window. Bingo. Here's another thing I really love about AutoPass. When I hover over that new design, as long as it has an encoded depth, it's going to automatically update my depth and tell me exactly what we're going to. Cool.
I think we can go ahead and cut these out. This is the beauty of Plate if you haven't seen it before. This is our universal template for Origin. So every time we set up one of these router templates, Origin is always saving it, and we can always easily return to it. So just by dropping Plate down on this work surface, Origin looks at it and says, here's all the templates that you've set up before with Plate. Do you want to continue with the R43? Do you want to pick one of the other templates that you already set up? You can go ahead and pick that template that you want, and you are immediately ready to cut. No fiddling with, router bushings, no fiddling with setting up a digital design. It's all just ready to go. This is also your reminder, if you have questions, this is a live show, so definitely drop those questions in the Q&A in the chat. And Ted will answer as many as he can. We've got Ted in the chat today repping us. But also, Ted's going to send us the juicy questions for demos at the end here. We've got a solid 6 or 7 so far, but please keep them rolling because that's what we're here for. Uh-oh.
Oops.
We didn't try these hinges before the show, did we?
So the hinge has a natural offset that it wants from its back surface. This particular hinge is a little too wide for a half-inch material.
It is, isn't it? Shoot.
Maybe that's why Goose used like the
slim line.
This, but I'll tell you what. Regardless of this,
it sure fits.
Sure fits beautifully. All right, let's roll with it.
Jake, how would we fix that? We'd make a custom plug.
I would
probably
make it a feature.
You would make it a feature.
Yeah.
How would you make that a feature?
No.
Would glue another block on there.
Yeah, it's like exposed hardware.
You gotta make a nice double lozenge kind of plug. Fill it in, and then plane the side down.
To actually fill this and use the right hinge, you mean?
To actually fill that and use the right hinge, yeah.
You can absolutely make little plugs.
We should maybe do that at the end of the show on Workstation.
Yeah.
You think that would be fun?
That's the beauty of a live show, people.
Let's carry on as if the hinge were sized correctly for this box.
All right, lining this up to our second mark. Okay. Clamp 1. Clamp 2. And the beauty of Plate is it's already set up and ready for us to do our next operation. So let's just go. There
How'd
we
that
go.
feel?
Felt great.
We have an equally wrong other side of the hinge.
Exactly equally wrong.
Equally wrong other side of the hinge. So what should we do for the other side? I think that we should switch back to the old Sauce 101. I'm going to double check that it's the right width for this thing. Because even this with the back set might be a little bit off. It's got a 3/32 inch back set plus the thickness of the hinge itself. That'll fit. So we should use the Sauce 101.
All right.
And I think because it's only a quarter till, we've got 45 minutes down on this show. I think that we should make a little plug to fix that box.
All right.
I'm really invested in this.
I'm super down for this.
Okay, nice. So, what we were going to do is find that hardware on the Shaper Hub hardware catalog. We were going to go ahead and sync that to Origin and show you guys how to do that. And then show you how to set this up on plate. And we're still going to do that, but instead of the R43, we're going to do that with this Sauce 101 hinge. And before we do that, so that all the syncing stuff shows up the way that you would expect it to if you hadn't synced it before, I just need to go ahead and delete that hinge from my Shaper files because we use these Sauce 101 hinges all the time. And now that I've done that, we can go ahead back to Shaper Hub over here and talk about how we find hardware files and how we get them onto Origin. So here we are on Shaper Hub. This is where we find not only, hey, check this out, the gin joint bar box on Shaper Hub here. So if you want to cut this project yourself, go ahead and find this link. But we also can go to the hardware catalog, which is where we keep all of these prefab hardware templates. So we'll click on this. The easiest way, I think, to do this is to filter by brand. And we've got a ton of brands on here. Bloom, Cup Hinges, Brusso, Fine Box Hardware, Festool Dominoes, etc., etc. We've got Sauce and Sugatsuni down here for those concealed hinges. If I wanted the R43, I would click this, show 30 results. That's much more manageable. Go down to this R43, hop into here, sync to my files. I already added this one earlier. We also can go back up here, hardware catalog, filter, Sauce, show 16 results. Pretty much the whole Sauce catalog in here, no matter what size hinge you want to use. Do the 101. This has info on the hinge, minimum material thickness. This says that it'll work with a 1/2 inch material, so hope that's right. Really ought to be, because I put that number there. We've got the cut file here. We've got that pre-specified back set. This cut file has all that stuff that Jake was pointing out, the encoded depth, etc. Annotations on what suggested bit you should use. And I'm just going to hit sync to my files. This is going to go ahead and send that to Origin.
Sweet. I'm all set up on our second half of the bar box. Just so I can show you over here what I'm looking at. I have my line matched up with my knife line. On the screen, we have a brand new, we're starting from scratch here. The
Brand new plate template.
brand new plate template, I should say. I still know exactly where the center of the window is. And with that information, I can know exactly where the edge of this edge mortising adapter is. So
To get to this point, we've got a bunch of other shows on setting up plate for the first time. We're kind of glossing over that today. Once you've set up plate for the first time, it's really easy to bring these hardware templates in.
Yeah.
Setting up plate for the first time is easy too, but it's a separate show.
the whole idea of it too is you scan it, grid it once, and that's it.
Reuse that.
Just reuse that. All right, so we're going to hop into import. We've grouped all of your hardware specific files under this hardware folder. And because he just synced it, that Sauce 101 hinge is at the very top of the list. Grab that. And instead of dragging this thing around, I'm actually going to tell it, hey, I want you to go to -50 millimeters. Tap the green button. And now that has our perfect
Mhm.
3/16 of an inch back set from the edge. And it is centered in our window, which means it's going to fall right where we need it to.
Yeah. I want to run and grab that walnut to do this plug. This is a
Yeah.
little bit of a distraction, but I think before we cut this, here's what I want to do to double check, because we have this kind of neutral window here from our plate template.
Mhm.
What I want to do is just put a little check in there, like a 1/2 inch tall rectangle, and make sure that this template fits inside that 1/2 inch completely.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you walk everybody through that while I go get some material?
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm back in that design tab. I'm going to create a rectangle that is some arbitrary number width, but we want it to represent our plywood at 0.5 tall. Grab that bottom middle anchor, and same thing as before. We're going to use the position tab to bring it to -50 millimeters. Tap the green button to place. Now we can zoom in, and it's just a tiny little bit,
Okay. Well,
but it won't blow through.
that back set is a manufacturer's recommendation. We don't have to stick with it. We shouldn't go over that because the hinge won't open, but we could go under that. So we could go ahead and copy this template, scoot it down just a 30-second or something like that to give us a little bit more breathing room.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I like that. So I just copied our hinge.
Copied our hinge. We're going to reposition that, and we can just do math on the tool, minus 1/32 inch.
Give me a metric number.
Okay, how about 1 millimeter?
I'm just going to say
Yeah, 1 millimeter.
49. Bingo. Just confirm that it's slightly lower.
I think that's a little higher. You should go for 51.
51.
A little farther from the center.
There we go.
Okay, and let's delete those other two.
That looks a lot better. That looks basically centered.
Yeah, okay. Great.
Okay.
So you're going to cut this one. We'll cut the other one. There we go. And then we'll make some plugs.
All right, let's go.
So while Jake's doing the auto pass for this, he's just following the line and going down to the final depth that Origin already knows for these hardware pieces. I'm thinking for this plug, I'm thinking ahead a little bit here. We should go ahead and clamp this walnut stock that I have up in Workstation. We should use the hardware file, because we use that to cut the negative using inside cuts. We should use that hardware file and switch those inside cuts to outside cuts. So we're cutting a positive, like a tenon, instead of a negative. And we can go ahead and make 2 of those. We can cut them off. We can fit them in the plugs. And then we could maybe plane them down with a little hand plane here.
Beautiful.
How's that look? Pretty good?
Like it was meant to be there.
Ah, perfect. So we're just measuring, marking, aligning, and then bringing Origin over and cutting. That's our plate workflow.
All right. Everything's nice and tight. Let's do it one more time.
Good fit?
Perfect.
Yeah, sweet. What do you think of my plug cutting proposal?
I'm
Did you
here
catch
for
that?
It. I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Okay, nice.
Ooh, you get to get that out.
All right. While I do this, let's clamp Workstation back up here.
Okay.
That looks good. We could have gone with the stock file on that. Always good to double check, though. And I think if we move that support bar, or the clamping face that is, all the way up, we just clamp this right on there, and we can cut one here, we can cut one here, and then I could go zip them off on the bandsaw. See how they fit.
I like this.
Cut them a little long so we can plane them down.
This is honest TV.
This is honest TV. I don't think we need the shelf. I think we just clamp
You
this.
just want to clamp.
Yeah. Might be a little long, but that's okay.
Wah.
Yeah, you think we can do this without the support bars?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to walk you through this, what we're doing again here is we're setting this up on Workstation. Let's show that clamping face. And we're going to go ahead and just clamp this right to the top, as if we were doing kind of a mortising type thing. I mean, we're cutting a positive on this, but we need to support this all the way up at the top. And we're cutting into the edge grain like this because we want our plug to mirror the edge grain of the side of this case.
Okay. Start off with a fresh scan. And make a grid. Got probe 1. Probe 2, and probe 3.
And that's going to help us keep those templates aligned to the edge, aligned to that grain. And now, so what I'm thinking is we go ahead and re-import that R43 file because it already has that shape. It's kind of pre-programmed to cut the mortise, but we can just flip those cut types around to cut the outside instead.
Do one here. Copy. One there.
Yeah. Feel like you've got clearance for a bit behind those? Should I get you a small one? Should I get you a 4mm?
Let me double check. I have just.
Just. You got an 8mm in there or a 1/4 inch?
Quarter.
Yeah, let me get you a smaller bit.
Okay. We still got to go down to 1/2 inch. So yeah, let's do the 1/8 inch.
Let's do the 4mm because it'll go even farther. I want these plugs to be proud. Okay.
There you go.
Grab in that.
There's the ultimate bit kit.
Ah! Oh, genius. Okay, perfect. Thank goodness we relaunched these. All right, so here's what's cool about this 4mm bit. It has a 15mm cutting length on it, which is a little bit more than a 1/2 inch, but it has even more than that in clearance. So we can actually go down quite far with this because we want this to be proud by a little bit, again, so that we have room to bandsaw it and plane it down. This bit's going to be really good for that. Tight clearance, but a deep cut.
telling the tool that I have a 4mm cutter in there now. It's going to automatically prompt me to Z-touch. And with that, I know where 0 is.
All right. And now what are we doing to change the cut type to outside? We're going to click on that inside button where it lists all the different cut types and then just hit outside. And that's going to put us cutting on the outside of the line instead of on the inside. It looks like we need a couple of offsets on that first step to get that all the way cleared out above the top of the second half of that plug.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to want to be pretty careful going around the corners there so we don't zing Workstation. Can't go all the way around, but we can start on one side and go around to the other.
Cool. Let us... This depth's all correct already.
That is actually going to be backwards because the small one is going to be the full depth and the shallow one is going to be the first step.
0.197. 0.197. No.
Oh boy. This is trickier than it seems.
It is.
Because it's actually going to be
involved.
The full depth minus the first shoulder.
All right.
So what's the full depth? 0.518? What's the encoded
full depth?
depth?
0.512.
0.512. And what's the other depth?
0.197.
So it's going to be the full depth minus the shoulder depth.
Minus.
Yeah.
0.512 minus 0.197
Sweet.
equals. Yeah?
Yeah. Nice. So let's do this in a couple of offsets.
Okay.
What's the
No, this is
furrowed brow for?
This is right. You're right.
I think so. Cool.
All right. I'm going to take care of this just using offsets. I'll kind of talk it through while I'm doing it.
Yeah. I think we should start at the big offset and work our way in, just like a tenon. Otherwise, we'll be climb cutting.
Bam.
Okay, nice. So as long as that gray area covers the area that you intend to cut, you are good to go. So we didn't mean to cover offsets on this show, but here we are. So Jake's using that positive offset to push Origin's cut path far out away from the template. A positive offset always leaves more material. A negative offset always removes more material. So we're leaving more material and we're going to sneak up on the first step of this plug. Then we're going to come down to the final depth and do the same thing just to kind of cut these free. That gray cut path previews where you're going to cut, so we want to make sure that we are not cutting into Workstation. It's really easy to see in advance whether you are or are not going to do that. Just is the gray area running into the image of Workstation on your workspace. And then I think when we get down to it, we should give this just a little bit of a negative offset, maybe minus 0.003 inches or something like that. Because we're not going to be able to do a test fit with these. Yeah, 4 thou. I think Jake's mouthing 4 thou negative offset to me. I think that's good. Just a little bit of breathing room because we're not going to have room to test fit these. We want to make sure that when we cut them off, they go right into that plug. Sometimes when you get that line-on-line fit, a 0 offset fit, It can be a little tight. We want some room for glue in this to hold it all together.
Now
And
we're
now-
going full depth.
And now we're going to go down to the full depth plus a little bit because I need some room to cut it off on the bandsaw.
All right.
So I would go, if the full depth is 0.5 what? 0.512? I think I would go like 0.712 on this.
0.712.
Yeah, just give me plenty of room for that bandsaw blade.
Got it.
Okay?
It's going to give me a warning that I'm cutting past. That's okay.
Yeah, we can do this in fewer steps.
4 sounds good.
4 steps? Okay. If you want to learn more about AutoPass, we've done a bunch of shows on it. Check those out at sessions.shapertools.com. We've got one on Origin Pro Tips, which covers some AutoPass Pro Tips and kind of edge cases. But also when we introduced AutoPass, we have a whole show on Welcome to AutoPass. Shows you all the settings and everything. One thing that's really cool that's new is that with AutoPass pocketing, you can now pocket down layer by layer with AutoPass. If those words are kind of a brain teaser to you, basically it just means that AutoPass has more functionality thanks to our latest free system update. Larkspur? Yeah, wow. There's been so many that I've lost track. This is our 12th free system update. We do these on a reasonably regular cadence. And our last show was actually about this most recent update. We've got some really cool stuff with exporting between different workspaces and out of Origin. We've got updates to AutoPass, including now support for pocketing. We've got some new probing routines that are now available, including being able to probe a rectangle and probe a circle. Really cool stuff. Shall I?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll be right back. Keep them entertained.
Seems like an opportune time to go back over the promo. All right. I think he's already on it. He muted you. Quick reminder, everyone. Right now we have our holiday deal happening. It's the biggest deal that we have ever done. So seems like a good time to get on it. We are doing a $300 system discount, full system discount. That's Origin, Workstation, and Plate. Getting 9 free premium project plans. Those range from your first project that we recommend you cutting to downright complicated joinery and furniture and step-by-step instructions along the way. You get a free accessory kit with a mini cis, pry bar, engraving brushes, and a roll of 2-inch double-sided tape. Free shaper beanie, and 2 free training classes with Russ and I. And those are designed to get you up and running. As soon as you get the tool, you get into class with everyone else that got their tool, and we're going to start from unboxing and end with full-on joinery.
Wow. Love that. How's that for timing?
Perfect.
You want to do the honors?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, let's show these off on the camera before we go and do the test fit.
Yeah.
So we just made these in like 5 minutes.
Not too shabby for a...
Cut them off on the bandsaw. They should stick a little bit proud on the top, and then also obviously they're going to kind of hang off the side there. But once we glue these in, we'll be able to plane them down. What do you think?
Just
Pretty good.
perfection.
Goose says to show off the inside, so turn it a little bit. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, how's that for fixing a mistake?
Nailed it. Honestly, might not even see those once they're all glued up.
Music to my ears.
Thanks for hanging around for that.
That's a cool show.
That's how to make a mistake and fix it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.